Hi, and welcome to this video where we will be setting up all the needed components for this course. We're going to get started with the software, and there are two things we have to install. We have to install the Arduino program, which allows us to program for our Wi-Fi chip, and we have to install the iOS program. Now, without further ado, let's get started with the software. The first step you want to do is you want to open up the App Store, and you want to make sure that you have an Apple computer of any type. Make sure that it's running Yosemite or higher, or I'm not sure which one exactly, but make sure you're running an operating system that can support this version of Xcode. Then you want to search up Xcode in the search menu. And let's go to Xcode right here. So here we have our version of Xcode, and you can see that I've already downloaded it. So it says open. Now, it should say get for you, and you want to make sure that you have an Apple ID. You also want to make sure that you have at least 4 gigabytes of RAM, and make sure you have enough space on your hard drive for this amount of 5.9 gigabytes. And actually, from my experience, I think it's actually even more. Could be something around 11 gigabytes. Now, you want to go ahead and install it and make sure you have your Apple ID in, because this download, depending on your Wi-Fi speed, will take a long time. Anyway, I'll wait for you to finish that, and you might want to pause the video right now, or if you can download this in the background, then we'll move on to the Arduino downloading. So now let's go to your web browser so that we can download Arduino. Want to go to arduino.cc. Then you want to go to software downloads. Let's scroll down, and as of this recording, it's 1.8.7 is the most recent version. Select your operating system. I'm going to do Mac OS X. Select just download. Now let's wait for that to download. Okay, so now that it's finished downloading, let's open up the archive. Since you're on Mac, it shouldn't take too long. It's almost done. And now it's done. There we go. Now you just want to drag it into applications, and I already got it there, so I'm going to replace it. This might take a while, but it doesn't for me. Now that you've downloaded Xcode, make sure it's done. Once it's done, you can open it up. And since I've already installed the required components, then I don't have to install them anymore, but you have to because it's your first time. If your first time, it's going to say install required components. It's going to give you an explanation, and then you're going to have two buttons, quit or install. And you want to click on install. It's going to ask for an administrator's password. Then you just want to type in your password, and then you want to click install, and then it might take a little bit. So you want to pause the video right here. Now that Xcode is done installing, you want to just try creating a new Xcode project. It should lead you to something like this. Then you want to click next, and then I'll just put in something, save it to the desktop, and then it should create your project for you. If you get something like this, then you're good. Okay, now let's do the hardware because we're done with the software for now. Hi, so now let's get the needed hardware components for our project. So first of all, you'll be needing a Wi-Fi chip right here. In order to connect to this, you'll be needing a USB cable to connect to it. Otherwise, you won't be able to program it, and you can't do anything. So make sure you have both. Now, you'll just need a bunch of wires. So wires are pretty much going to let us wire up our project and connect everything. But in order to create our circuit, we need something called a breadboard. Now, a breadboard can essentially connect to wires, and you can plug in chips and you can connect them together. And they're just really convenient to wire up things. In order to drive the motors, you'll be needing a motor driver. It's a tiny chip, but it's really useful. Without this, you're probably going to burn out your chip, and you won't be able to go a very fast speed. But in order to make our car even work, we need the bulk of it, the chassis. Now, you can get any tank with 2 motors that have positive and negative leads, and make sure they accept 9 volts. And make sure they don't draw too much power, because then we're going to burn out our motor driver. These small yellow motors, like these, they work really well. And then we need a 9-volt battery right here, and a holder so that we can plug it into our circuit. Finally, we have tools. We need things like wire strippers, and the most important one is this. Now, this is a soldering iron. This can be used to weld 2 wires together, and it's really useful. Now, we also have something that you don't necessarily need, but it'd be nice to have because we can add a really cool feature called obstacle avoidance. And that's the ultrasonic sensor. Now, the ultrasonic sensor can detect distance by sending out ultrawave pings. Now, other ultrasonic sensors might interfere with it, but that's okay. Now, anyway, that's pretty much the bulk of our hardware besides our computer. And I'll be excited to see you in the next section, where we'll be starting with the Node MCU, and we'll be doing some really cool stuff.